Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So I'm at the farm again today, and I am just in the kind of final stages here of cleanup. I've been doing a lot of odds and ends work in here because I've been in a real rush trying to get ready for drywall actually. So I've got insulation in the walls that were opened up. I've got, everything is basically any kind of trim work that I needed to do in preparation for drywall is done. I've got the real loose chunks of drywall pulled back so the drywallers know what they have to fill in. The electrical's done. The HVAC is done. Plumbing, of course, is done. That's been done for a while. And we are ready to get this thing going here. I've gone around this morning. I've got some old outlets here that we're abandoning that need to be covered over. I've got a few of those down here and a few upstairs, and we're getting really close. So this afternoon, the drywall supplier is going to be coming and going to be stocking the house, and I think as soon as tomorrow, actually, they're going to start hanging the upstairs. So we're about to, when you hit the drywall stage, it's major transformation stage. I should show you too. So I ripped out the old rickety railing that was here, and I framed up a new railing. Used 2x6s so I can have everything nice and sturdy, so it's not flopping in the wind like a lot of times those railings can be. So that's good to go, and everything up here is going to be recovered basically, going over all the old plaster, and it's going to be like a brand new house up here when they're done. You can see everything that's just got to be covered over. These are old vents from years past. I just taped over everything so they knew what to cover. So I'm pretty excited. We're about to really have this place look a lot different. This room over here will be patched back in. If you remember from an old video, there was tile on the bottom here. I tore that off, and they'll put drywall back on there and get that patched back in. So won't be long. So next thing you guys see, I'll try to get some videos of those guys hanging drywall. I'm hoping it's not going to take too long, and we're going to have this place start looking like something actually you'd want to live in. The drywall is here. That right there is why you paid to have drywall delivered. That's a lot of mud. Got rock down here. Got a bunch more up here. I had them put half in this bedroom and half in this bedroom. So tomorrow they start hanging, and I'm really glad that I'm not doing it. All right, guys, we're rocking in here. Hang in the kitchen. Looks like this room is mostly done. Gotta do that wall yet. How's it going? Progress. Looking good. All right, guys, it's day 2 of drywall. We're back for an update. I brought the muscle with me this time. We've got a big pile out here. It looks like they've been scrapping out the window. I have a feeling they're probably most of the way done. And I mentioned in a previous video the new service coming in. So all the way from the pole, they did that yesterday. That cost me a few $1,000. And we actually have power. I don't have any light bulbs in here, but we got power in the garage. And let's see, a couple days ago I was in here and I actually plugged in, got outlets in and a couple light fixtures in too. So I just need some bulbs and 2 more light fixtures, and the garage is wired up. So making real progress. Go in here and see what this place looks like. They're jamming out. These guys like their tunes. Whoop. Sorry. Oh yeah, this room's a pain in the butt. Look at those layers. Cool. Looks really good. I'm happy with it. They're really close to being done. I'd say they'll get this thing wrapped up today. We're getting close to Christmas now. We're just a couple days before Christmas, so I'm not sure if the tapers will be in here. I imagine, I guess that depends on their availability, but it could very well be a couple days before they get in here. But once they come in, sometimes when you're these initial tape jobs will take a while, especially like inside corners and closets and stuff. So there's probably 4 or 5 days for them to get this wrapped up. But we're getting really close to having this place drywalled. We can start getting moving on to the next steps. Get some primer on the wall, get some paint on the wall, and before long we're going to start working on setting a kitchen. So making good progress. It's nice to see. Catch you soon. All right, guys, I'm gonna just stepping in to do a quick update here. So the guys have been, as you can see, just patching away. These walls are a mess to patch. All the worst spots are done. Giving a lot of attention around these windows where there was big gaps. So it'll make it easier for me to be able to trim around them. So they've done a lot of work around there. Seams here where there used to be a wall. they've got this whole ceiling floated, skim coated, and you probably can't see it on the camera, but what they'll do is just come in and do a light sanding and then do a texture on that. This whole area down here will be heavily textured. I don't know any lights in here, but bathroom's coming together. They went ahead and finished around the bathtub. This is the existing bathtub that previous owner had drywalled around it, but never actually finished around it. So that's getting done. And the upstairs is obviously coming along as well. Really happy with how this is turning out. This bathroom was just a really nice addition to this house. And it feels nice and roomy in here, so that's good. My funky little squared off corner turned out pretty good, I think. So, and the entire upstairs, like I've talked about before, has been wrapped. So drywall everywhere, which is nice. So at this point, I'm not sure, they may actually be done. They might be done taping and mudding. I don't know, they may need one more coat. But he's thinking, I think he's thinking by Monday or Tuesday he's going to be able to get everything textured. So that means we're just a few days away from getting everything primed. It's drying a little bit slow because it's super cold outside. We're supposed to get 3 to 6 inches of snow today, and my truck was showing 3 degrees as I was driving in. So we've got the heat cranked up a little bit, try to get things dry. But anyway, we're close. Won't be long. We'll be spraying primer. All right, drywallers are done. I don't know how well you can see in here. It's kind of dark, but got a nice texture on the wall. They did a knockdown on the ceiling, so that looks good. Everything, obviously all the new drywalls taped and mudded, and then he went around and basically patched everything on the old existing that was, you know, it was kind of a mess, tore up. The only thing that I've found is over here by this window, there's some old tape. There's a tape joint there. Huh, I thought that'd peel off really quick and easy, but basically it's loose, coming off the wall. So I need to fix that. I hate to do this when everything's just been textured, but I don't want to leave that like that. You can probably see that up there, tape line. So I'm going to get this peeled back. I'll mix up some mud. I'll get that tape joint fixed. And then I'll just take a can of spray texture and get that cleaned up. Once that's done, I'm going to be ready to spray primer. I've got 15 gallons PVA primer, and I got some ceiling paint too. My plan here is I've done houses different ways as far as painting. Several times I've actually just laid out all the trim and I painted it on sawhorses, sprayed it. I hate brushing trim. And then I'll just install it and then basically touch up nail holes. And then not go back and basically caulk everything, caulk all the trim, the window and door casing to the wall. As long as you take your time, you know, and get it pretty tight, it looks pretty good. But in this case, because there's these old windows, there's so much, there's a major lack of uniformity in all these window jambs. Because I know when he was installing these windows, he had a heck of a time. So there's going to be some gaps. It's going to need a little bit of caulk to get everything cleaned up. So to make it look good, I know that I'm going to have to do some caulking around the trim after I install it, and therefore the best approach is going to be to actually spray the casing and then the base too once I get it installed. So So my order of attack here is I'm going to spray primer on everything, and then I'm going to spray the ceilings white, and then I'm going to start working on getting the trim installed. And then once I get the trim installed, I'll spray that all white, and then I'll brush and roll all the walls everywhere. So I'm not a fan of painting. I usually don't paint. I usually hire a painter, but I'm so far over budget on this house that I got to try to save a few bucks here and there, and I've got the time right now. I can paint. I just don't really like to do it. So I'm going to do it. Painters are expensive. I'll probably save, honestly, I'll probably save $5,000 or $6,000 by painting this house myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Finally, to the point where we're moving forward on this thing. I think I've said that in previous videos, but once the drywall is done, we really are moving forward. You know, once the paint's on the wall, we're really going to be moving forward, get the kitchen in, get the bathrooms put together, and with any luck, I'll get this thing done before spring, which is my original goal. But for now, we're going to grab a few tools. I'll mix up a little mud and get that seam fixed. All right, I got those little areas patched up while I'm waiting for that mud to dry. I've got an outlet box I need to try to find. So I don't know why, but it seems like every time I do a full drywall job like this, I end up having boxes that get covered up. These hangers they're flying as fast as they can, and I don't know, they get a little sloppy. So this one here, this is the switch that is for this closet. When I was kind of doing a walk around before the tapers were done, I noticed that this had been covered over, so I mentioned it, and he poked in there and he located that. And I thought, I did kind of a general walk around, and I thought we were good to go. But yesterday, when I was in here, I realized that I'm certain that there's an outlet over here on this wall. So, kind of identify what this is at, and I actually went back and looked at a prior video as I was doing kind of a quick walk around, and I did spot very quickly an outlet plate on that wall, so I know there's one there. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using a toner, and I'm not really sure where these wires go to. This works really well if you've got, like if there was another outlet here, and then 6 feet away you've got another outlet, and you can generally figure they're probably connected. The toner works really well. In this case, what I think I've got figured out is I think this whole room goes up to a junction box up in the attic and then feeds back down. So it doesn't work quite as well, but it still works. So basically what I've done is just took another one of the outlets in here and took a toner, and I'm going to turn, just going to do this one hand. I'm just going to turn this to tone. All right, so we got that on tone, and we'll take the probe, and I've already kind of identified where I think this thing is at. So what I'm doing over here, I don't know if you can hear that on the audio, but basically this probe, somewhere in that vicinity there. that probe basically picks up the signal that toner is putting out and helps you to kind of locate so you're not just jamming random holes all over the place. As far as height, I'm guessing, I just went the height of that one over there, which is like 16 inches or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think what I'm gonna do is drill a small pilot hole first. Then I can look in there, I can kind of poke in the back and see if I actually hit a box or not before I just start jamming a big hole in the wall. Oh, I can hear wires actually. I got it. Another good reason to make sure you have the power turned off. You go sticking a piece of steel in there. If those wires are hot in that wall, you could have an electrifying experience. There you have it. All right, good to go. All right, so I finally got that patch done. Time to throw some texture on the wall so we can start priming. All right, so I'm set up, ready to get going here. I've got 15 gallons of PVA primer, and if you're ever priming over fresh drywall, make sure you use PVA. Drywall and drywall mud are very porous and really absorb a lot, and this PVA primer will help to kind of to seal it good, so when you come back with your paint doesn't soak in and you get all kinds of stripes and lines and stuff. So just a little FYI there. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit, and then this paint sprayer, every time I use this thing I say a little prayer and cross my fingers because this thing's been through the war. I've painted a lot with this, and it's a fairly inexpensive Graco paint sprayer, but tell you what, it's really done well for me. But I know one of these times when I go to use it, that pump's going to be bad or something's not going to work, so hopefully that day is not today. So much paint on here, I can't read anything. I think prime is up in this position. Yeah. All right, let's see if it works. It'll work, I'm sure. it primed. So first step is just get the water out of the line from the last time I cleaned it, which I think I've accomplished. Oh yeah. All right guys, so fast forward a couple days from my last clip and the walls are all primed and I've got 2 coats of flat white ceiling paint on. I don't know if you can see very well in the video, but see that kind of line around the perimeter where I shot the ceiling paint. So I've got, I'm trying to think, I ended up putting down 20, see, I got 30 gallons of primer and I probably put down 27 gallons, something like that. And I've got probably between 12 and 13 gallons of ceiling paint sprayed. So I sprayed a bunch of paint in the last couple of days, a lot of primer and paint, but way rather spray it than roll it. So I'm at the point now where it's about time to start trimming this place out. I do need to, before I do that, just a couple more things to sort of button up the drywall phase. I've got these ceiling registers that need to go back up, and the way these things work, this boot is actually loose up in the attic, so it's really a 2-person job. Somebody's got to kind of center it, hold it down in the attic while somebody runs screws up. So I've got to do that all in the upstairs. My son's coming this afternoon to help me with that. But once that's done, I'm going to get serious about, well, actually, once that's done, I'm going to climb up in the attic and I'm going to roll out some insulation. That's the last thing I have to do, probably the last time I have to get up in the attic of this house, hopefully. So I want to get that wrapped up too. But I'm really close to starting on trim work. I actually ordered doors today, and I'm going to go sometime in the next couple of days and start picking up, probably pick up all the jam material. I might pick up base in case too, but I'm going to have to re-jam all these windows. As you can see, they're all just sort of rough. So all this stuff is going to have to be jammed out. Every window These doors are extra work because, you know, we've got, so you've got your standard 2x4 wall. Well, it would be standard 2x4, but you also have lath in there, so that makes it a little bit wider. And then this particular one, there's 5/8 drywall and 1/2-inch drywall on both sides. So I don't know what that all adds up to, but my standard door is not going to cut it, so those are all going to have to be built out too. So there's going to be a lot of, check this one out, 3 layers of drywall. Crazy. So there's going to be a lot of custom trim work in this house to make everything come together right, but that's for the next video. So appreciate you guys watching. I'm excited to be done with the drywall. If you're interested in seeing this thing get trimmed out, make sure to stay tuned. Watch that next video, and we'll see you then.